If you have never had the pleasure of visiting the Grand Canyon, I highly suggest it. It's one of the most beautiful places in America. However, visiting could become more dangerous in the future. A new study found extreme heat will significantly increase the risk of heat-related illness for the millions of people who visit this national park. By 2100, there could be up to 254 heat-related illnesses at the park each year. And just for a little perspective, heat is suspected to have killed 16 people at the Grand Canyon since 2007. Stacia, I was lucky to visit the Grand Canyon a few years ago, but I do remember that there were warnings about the time of year when you could do long hikes and things like that. And just to think about what we're experiencing now, if that indicates, increases in heat exposure all over, especially there, it's really a shame.
It is, and there are a number of discussions about people wanting excessive heat to be considered a weather emergency.
Yeah.
Extreme, just like when we have tornadoes or hurricanes, other life-threatening events related to the weather. I mean, really, heat, unfortunately, just claims so many lives every year, too.
I know, and we're experiencing, I know everybody, it's August, it's supposed to be hot in Texas, but this is extremely intense for a really long period of time, and people have heard me say it, it's those consecutive days where you really start to feel the impact.
Right, where your lows are never very low.
Oh,
it just
that's
never
the
really
worst.
cools off.
Yeah.
So, by the way, you know what? I checked out the Grand Canyon from a plane, but I bet it was even better up close.
It's beautiful from overhead, too.
Hey, how about we check out Fort Worth? There you go. It is 106, feeling warmer than that. It just continues to heat up out there. And as I mentioned before, just basically put yesterday on repeat, and that's what you can expect for the rest of today. Expected a high of 106. This is going to be your high tomorrow, too. Now, one slight difference we have is those winds are really kind of starting to pick up, but the temperature is very similar to what we experienced yesterday. So if you do, of course, have to be outside, hopefully you don't, but if you do, as we've been saying, take precautions, make sure you get plenty of breaks, stay in the shade when you can, hydrate. You know the drill by now. All right, 24-hour temperature change. This kind of just exemplifies what I mentioned, the fact that it really hasn't changed since yesterday. Hardly seeing any temperature change. If you walked outside yesterday afternoon, it's going to almost exact same temperature that we're having right now. Fire danger forecast, just want to remind folks, this is again elevated and high for areas that are west of Tarrant County, including Tarrant County. This is interesting. So this kind of all plays into the fact of our extreme fire threat and the fact that we also have this red flag warning in place for a number of our counties. The drought monitor in May was extremely impressive for the entire state. It had really just, we were having a good season. And then this drought kicked in. And now if you look at much of Texas is basically encompassed by some sort of dry condition. So, we definitely need some rain. Do we have any rain in the forecast? Not really, but it will come eventually, hopefully. Right now, we're just dealing with some wind speeds that are picking up. That adds fuel to the fire in a non-literal sense, just the fact that you are going to have dry conditions, and if there's a spark or any type of thing like that, that fire is going to spread so much easier. Looking at tonight, those wind gusts pick up even more so. You could be, especially areas south of Dallas County, you could be looking at 30, 35 mile per hour wind gusts overnight tonight. Not a lot of cloud cover. This is a look at tomorrow morning. Didn't see any clouds roll through DFW. And as we go through the afternoon, so it's another day where that sun is just beating down. Sunday will be similar as well. Remember, you have an extreme heat advisory in effect through Saturday night. They'll probably extend that. We're also just seeing a few sprinkles right around the Texas-Oklahoma border. Saw a little bit development about an hour ago, but this is dissipating very quickly. Texas is dry. Once again, you don't really have a lot of cloud cover, but it looks like people around us are getting rain. Just unfortunately, it's not hitting us. Checking out the rest of the Lone Star State with your temperatures, 103 in Amarillo, 101 in Houston, Austin, Central Texas sitting at 105. West Texas, San Angelo, 106. Brownsville, 99 degrees. It does feel a little bit cooler with Corpus Christi and Brownsville. Areas on the coast, they have that sea breeze, so that's nice, that Gulf Coast breeze. We do have this heat dome. I know you're probably tired of looking at this by now, but it continues to rain over Texas, and it's going to do so as we move through the 10-day forecast. Now, I want to go ahead and take a look at this triple-digit heat through next week. I was a little bold yesterday. I had us next week and possibly in the low 90s. I don't think it looks that positive checking back, but we're so far out, it's quite possible that that's going to change. We're 10 days away from that. So if you have plans this weekend, plan accordingly. It's going to be hot this week. I do think temperatures will dip down a little bit by next weekend. All right.